Azumo versus Antrizi, Game 5, Hearthstone Championship Tour 2018. I'm Heatwave, and I'm with Dethelor. And Dethelor, how do you think this matchup is gonna go?
Honestly, it's a pretty close matchup. I would give a slight edge to Antrizi on his Murloc Paladin, because there's so many things you can do to make the life of a Zoo Warlock hard. You have the weapons, you have the early game Murlocs, you have Call to Arms.
Yeah, it is a very strong and explosive deck, and high risk, high reward. But you know what? Azumo is that experienced powerhouse this year in the HCT. He's been dominating, and he's looking to pick up his 9th tournament win. So you can't count him and this Zoo Warlock out.
You have a fair point. But I think the players are ready to start, so yeah, let's jump into the game.
Yeah, the mulligans here are going to be pretty important because both of these decks are looking to get on the board early and establish trading. So if you're making the attacks into the enemy minions, you're going to be ahead.
And we can see Antrizi hits exactly what he was looking for. He has the Murloc, the weapon, the Call to Arms. And luckily Azumo also has a 1-drop. This is really, really vital for him.
Yeah, the way that Antrizi is going to be able to really run away with this game is these cards, both Call to Arms in his opening hand. So he's almost definitely going to be saving that coin for those Call to Arms, being able to coin one out on turn 3 and then immediately follow up on turn 4.
And Antrizi picks up the Champ that he mulliganed away, which is a pretty important pickup, because you don't want to play a Tidecaller into your opponent's librarian. You want to protect it and possibly play it on a future turn.
Yeah, it is going to allow Azumo just to establish the trades and keep the pressure going up with this 2-4 Homunculus. And the Vulgar Homunculus here is very awkward for Antrizi, because the Tidecaller coming down, or if he chooses... Oh, and he looks like he's coining out the Rallying Blade.
Yeah, he's possibly playing around the Demon Fire that he knows is in Azumo's deck. But this play is not ideal in my eyes, because there's also the Blood Fury Potion in the Zoo Warlock deck list.
Yeah, it looks like he could be a very heads-up play trying to read this Demon
Fire.
But
he picks a Glacial Shard.
Oh man, the Glacial Shard is a massive punish for this Rallying Blade play. Without the Rallying Blade, Antrizi's just going to have to develop minions into Azumo's, and Azumo is again going to have the tempo. He's going to have the initiative here.
Yeah, all Antrizi can do is just play 2 Murlocs here and prepare the best possible Call to Arms in the next turn, and yeah, that's what he's gonna do.
Man, that is definitely very important for Azumo. And Azumo here picks up the Blood Fury Potion that we were just talking about. This is going to be able to make this demon even bigger. And the Soulfire in hand is going to cleanly deal with this Murloc Tidecaller.
We see a Spellbreaker getting discarded, which is a card that you're not really playing for this particular matchup. We saw it before against the Cube Warlock being really helpful. But Azumo, I mean, he discards it. It's pretty much what you wanna see in this matchup, and I'm sure he will find a way to utilize the second Spellbreaker. After the Righteous Protector is being played by the Call to Arms from Antrizi.
Yeah, and then Antrizi choosing to, again, pre-attack into this Vulgar Homunculus, again with the Rallying Blade, setting it down to 1, looking to get a trade with this Argent Protector. But Azumo is actually going to get value from this Control Tech card in the Spellbreaker, silencing a Divine Shield Taunt, so then his 1 health minion can make another great trade.
Now Antrizi looking at a lot of options, but possibly he will go for the Call to Arms. As we said, Call to Arms into Call to Arms can be devastating for the Zoo Warlock, and now, yeah, he picks the Knife Juggler he was looking for before. Let's see if the Juggles, unfortunately, they do not snipe the Voidwalker. That would have allowed him to clear the Voidwalker using his 2 minions, and yeah, I think he's gonna trade the 1-1 for sure into the Voidwalker to play around a possible Dreadlord, which is a card we see in every single Zoo Warlock nowadays.
Yeah, Antrizi knows how to play around these aggro matchups. Against Tom 60229, he was able to wipe the floor with him. And when he was a massive underdog, kind of like he was here, but he's taking the series again to this final game. So no one can count out Antrizi, even if the juggles don't go his way.
Oh yeah, he's gonna take it all, my boy. Now we can see Azumo, he's able to use the Demon Fire as a buff into the Voidwalker, but yeah, I would much rather see him clear a Murloc with it. He's thus able to clear every single Murloc, just leaving a Knife Juggler on the board, but he opts to clear the Knife Juggler and just leave a 1-2 instead, which is fine.
Yeah, the Knife Juggler is definitely a high-value minion to take care of, especially with a 4-1 Spellbreaker on the board. That's going to be something that he doesn't want any more juggles that may not go his way this time. And when we see this unidentified Maul getting turned into the Purifier's Maul, and Treasy is incredibly happy to see that in this matchup.
Oh yeah, usually my Maul is yellow, but I would play this card in my deck every single time if it was a guaranteed Divine Shield. We will probably see Treasy play his Hydrologist, get a Secret, and then he has multiple options. I think he doesn't quite get the secrets he would have liked here, such as the Noble Sacrifice and the Redemption.
We do see Repentance there that could get a lot of value, but no experienced Murloc Paladin player is ever going to pick a Repentance against a Zoo Warlock deck. So he goes with Eye for an Eye, and a Zoo, he's going face and... Yeah, wow. So he's looking to leverage his health and try to bring a Zumo down to his level and maybe possibly bluff that this secret is Noble Sacrifice?
But yeah, Zumo will not buy into his bluff. He's a veteran player. He immediately goes face and brings Treasy down to 6 HP. This Doomguard will actually put him to 1. Let's see if he opts to go for that or maybe play the Dethelor instead. Both of the plays are great.
Yeah, he does tap to develop the threat, possibly to hold on to that damage in hand, especially with the Blood Fury Potion. He can buff up one of these demons if it sticks, and Doomguard. Oh, but the War Leader off the top is a great draw, and the Megasaur's adaptation is going to be a huge adaptation for these 3 Murlocs.
He was looking for a Wind Fury here, but he doesn't get it, unfortunately. That would have been lethal damage. I think the Flaming Claws is exactly 15, so 1 damage off.
The 3 attack on the Inquisitor, the 4 attack on the Hydrologist. Yeah, that would have been lethal with Lightning Speed, the Wind Fury. He probably could have been happy with one of the less than spectacular adaptations, Massive, to give these Murlocs Taunt to help protect his super low life total, but he didn't get it. This is definitely not the adaptations that Treasy was looking for.
Definitely. Let's see if he picks the Flaming Claws or the Poison Spit. I think I favor the Poison Spit a bit more, especially since we haven't seen a Doomguard being played from Azumo, and that will give his War Leader the chance to contest a possible Doomguard.
Yeah. It's definitely, he does choose to keep the Poisonous on the War Leader, but instead of using the Murloc, he is going to set up lethal on the board, but also setting himself down to 1, not respecting any damage out of the hand, which we see Azumo has in the form of his first Doomguard of the game.
Wow, yeah, using his weapon here was ultimately his own demise. He gives no respect for direct damage from Azumo's hand, and we're gonna have to say goodbye to Treasy. What a run from this new player, wow.
Yeah, that was an exciting match all series long. And at the very end there, we still saw that Divine Favor just stranded in his hand. So even though he was able to snowball advantages against his other opponents, Azumo with the Zoo Warlock never enabled him to do it. Just tapping and being able to keep his hand small and keeping the tempo up all game long. What a game, what a series, and Azumo is going on to the finals. So right now we're going to go into the second of the semifinal matches, and we'll be back right after this.